Hello, welcome back. This is Dr. Adam J. Bach, and this is part two of our first session, which is technically called Session 00. And the reason for that is because we're not covering direct content today. In the first part of this replacement for our session today, because canceled due to weather, we provided you a quick introduction to myself and the concept of entrepreneurship in the course. I'm going to talk a little bit about the logistics of the course right now, and then in the last two sections, we'll cover some of the other details about how to get started and to succeed in the course. So for our class, you might be asking yourself, is this course the right course for me? You've signed up for it, so presumably you think so, but just to check a couple of details. First of all, you don't need to have an idea for a business to take this course. There's no assumption that you already have an idea or an innovation that you want to commercialize. You don't even have to want to be an entrepreneur to take this course. As I said in part one, and I believe very strongly, thinking like an entrepreneur is an extremely valuable mindset, regardless of whether you start your own venture or go to work for a corporation or a government or an educational facility or a nonprofit. And then finally, do you need to be a business student to take this course? Well, obviously, if you've signed up, you've discovered most likely that you don't. In fact, this course is specifically designed for students who aren't enrolled as a business major. If you are enrolled as a business major or you plan to major in business, you're supposed to take MHR 422. And I do teach a version of that course as well. But 322 is specifically designed for students who want to learn about entrepreneurship but aren't planning on majoring in business. Now, you may be planning to complete the certificate in entrepreneurship, and 322 is an appropriate first course for starting down that process. So in this course, you'll learn about entrepreneurship through a number of different modes. First of all, of course, there's a series of readings, videos, and materials and media that you're expected to review and learn about. In particular, the exams, Exam 1 and Exam 2, will significantly cover the material that's discussed in the readings, the other materials and the required materials in the course, and the lectures. And so it's extremely important that you get off to the right start by accessing the information, the readings, the textbook, eventually the reading from Harvard Business School, and prepare those for class. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. Second of all, obviously, with the exception of today, we'll have lectures. And because of the size of the class, the reality is that the lectures are primarily my presenting information to you. And while that's not my favorite way of teaching, just because there are 180 students enrolled in the course, there's not a lot of good ways to do it. I do encourage you, ask questions, raise your hand. If there's something that's not obvious or you don't understand, there may be times where you ask a question and I have to say something like, that's pretty far off the topic, or I'd love to talk about that, but it's going to be too time consuming. And I'll encourage you to find another opportunity to learn more about the specific topic in another way. We will have a couple of guest speakers, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and I think that those will be extremely interesting, probably more interesting than me talking to you on a day-to-day basis, but I think you'll learn a lot from those. You'll do a couple of online cases where you watch a video about an entrepreneur or a venture and answer some questions about it. During the course, one of the assignments is to attend an entrepreneurial event, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. There's an assignment associated with it, and you'll actually practice entrepreneurship as part of your group project. In the course, we use Canvas, and I do appreciate that Canvas is not everyone's favorite piece of software. Having been working in an online environment with teaching since before 2010, going back all the way to 2007, in fact, I've used many learning management systems online, WebCT, Blackboard, Moodle, Canvas, and I can say that Canvas is the least worst option, and we are going to use it, so you're stuck with it. Please do try to go to, if you haven't been to Canvas already, get into Canvas, make sure you have access and you can find things in it. A good starting place is taking a look at the modules. Module A provides course information. Module B talks about Canvas, the t-shirt project. Module C has a variety of student requests that are not assignments, but things that might come up. So for example, if you need an accommodation for a religious observance that's coming up in spring, and you're going to miss a lecture, then you'll need to fill out a form and submit it. Or for other reasons where you need some type of additional accommodation. And then the 6 modules of the course are provided here. I encourage you to review them in advance. Each module has all the sessions listed, and when you click on each session, it will show you the readings that you need to do. Those are also shown in the course schedule, which is provided in Module A, both as a separate document and in the syllabus. So please take a look at that. All of the readings, all of the assignments are provided in advance. Everything is out there for you to see, and you'll do well to get a jump start on that. The textbook for the course is called Disciplined Entrepreneurship. Bill Aulette is someone I know from MIT. He's fantastic. This is not a traditional textbook. It's a how-to book. It tells you the steps that you take in order to pursue an entrepreneurial opportunity. I think you'll enjoy reading it. It has lots of interesting examples. It is not nearly as in-depth as a traditional college-level textbook. But you do need it. You need it because the assignments are based on work in and ideas in the textbook. The exams have questions that will address specific topics in the textbook. So you will need a copy of this. And if you don't have it already, you need to make sure that you get a copy of it as quickly as possible. In addition, there is a Harvard Business School course packet. The link to that is in Canvas Module A. There is one reading for a whopping $4.25. Please access that. You will need that as part of the course. This course also uses Top Hat, the student response system. It's been set up already. If you've not, and you should have received an invitation to it, if you have purchased Top Hat for another course this year, academic year, then you already have access to it. If you haven't, then you'll need to purchase it, and there's pricing information. It's probably about $20. This is the course code information, and you will need this, as I'll talk about in just a moment. So just a caveat on Top Hat, this is my first semester using it. I've been using Canvas for a number of years, so I feel pretty comfortable with it. But Top Hat is new to me. I'm going to do my best with it, but I do need you to be patient and tolerant while I get up to speed. You've already been assigned a first day of class slideshow in Top Hat. If you've not used Top Hat before, I strongly encourage you to review that. It will tell you a little bit more about the application. My intent had been today that we would do a sample freebie. There would be a question in Top Hat, which would basically ask you what to do if you have trouble in Top Hat. And the answer is contact Top Hat. Please don't contact me. I am not a tech expert. I'm not an expert in Top Hat. There's probably nothing I can do. But obviously, since we're not in the lecture hall, we're not going to be doing that. So you must have Top Hat by Monday, and you should try very hard to make sure you understand how it works, because on Monday in class, barring another catastrophic snowstorm, I suppose, we will be using it, and it is part of your assessment in the course. And so if you're not, you'll be, as I'll talk about in a little bit in, I think, part 3 of this, it is a replacement for attendance. So I'll talk about that a little bit more, but you really do need to try to make sure you have Top Hat working, you have it on your phone, or you're comfortable using it on your laptop in the classroom. And with that, I'm going to close out part 2. I encourage you to take a break, stretch, take a couple deep breaths. This entire slideshow will be available on Canvas, so you can access it. But there's 2 parts to go, so I encourage you to take a break and then come back when you're ready, and we'll get through the rest of this and be ready to get the semester